I'd turn into a lunatic, and
Fuck
then
me.
I am. Dude, you were fucking. One thing you're not good at is lighting a cigarette.
Do you not have a lighter around here?
You want? What's a match, man?
Teamwork. See how easy that was?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because we're 50?
It used to be, yeah, because we're old now.
Because I have a gray hairs.
Because you're so gray, and I can't believe it. But it's actually looking quite distinguished on you, my friend.
See?
Now, I feel like you're one of those guys that's going to get better looking with age. And those are the guys that you want to be with.
Aerin just got the hots for me, as we all just heard on YouTube.
Right.
No, and we came over here to tell the breakup story.
The breakup story, right. Tell the breakup story.
So I walk up this, and we can't have, don't interrupt, because I'll stop. And then I'll start talking about something else, and then we're like...
I'm sorry.
I want to find that list of what I wrote down. I'll find it. Okay, so I go to Camille.
You're doing the same thing. It's not my fault.
Okay, who you introduced me to.
I did not introduce you to. I unfortunately was an indirect middleman, unbeknownst to me.
Do you know our very first kiss, which is really cool what I'm going to say, because I'm actually going to cut to the movie when it happens. The very first time we ever kissed was in that scene in Woke Up Crying. And we were on my bed, and there's 10 people around us.
Yeah, it wasn't real.
The camera. No, but it was real. Like, if you look at me, like, I'm madly in love with her, and I'm wearing pajamas for the scene, and I'm trying so hard not to get a boner, because Isaiah's standing right there, Sam's there, like, and I kept saying to him, like, come on, get off me, get up. Like, we would kiss, and I'd be like, John's like, okay, let's do another take. I'm like, no, dude, I'm done, fuck. It was the worst, most excruciating thing ever. We did like 6 kiss takes, but the very first time we ever kissed was an on-screen kiss. Okay. And I was madly in love with her at that time. Jesus.
You were infatuated.
No, I was infatuated. Like, the entire production revolved around me stopping whatever was going on to go, like...
I'm very well aware of that.
I know. Which made it really easy. Dude, at one point, John Ibsen was like, the editor...
He can't be on set.
No, but he's like, the editors are like, how do you fucking, like, deal with this dude for a whole day? He's insane. You know?
Yeah, well, that's why you were removed. You were asked to leave the set so many times.
I know.
Don't take it personally. It's just...
I got kicked out of my own production meeting.
Right.
John goes, Bo, could you go inside for a minute?
Please.
I'm like, what happened? It's like the producer, the director, and the camera guy, and the other producer.
I was there.
I know.
Yeah, that probably made you even more mad that I got to stay.
What happened? What happened in that meeting?
I don't even remember.
Hold on, the breakup story. So I walk up to
the infamous breakup story.
I've already talked about the asking Shannon and everybody what to do. So I walk up her stairs, opens the door, I don't have my bag. Where's your bag? We need to talk. She steps back and is like, if you're gonna break up with me, just leave. And I was like, well, I would think you would want to know what I have to say to you. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? I love you and I respect you. And
she's like,
go ahead. No, she was just like, okay. What? So I started talking, and like, minute 2, maybe minute 1, minute 2. She goes, if you're really ending this, get your shoes and get the fuck out of here.
Did she really curse?
I don't think she said fuck. I think she said, if you're really leaving, just go right now. And I literally, like, haphazardly was like, she means it, but on a more sincere level, I was like, it ain't gonna get any better than that. You know what I mean? Like, and this is somebody that I love and care about, but I literally reached down, grabbed my shoes, opened the door, and left. And that was a year and a half ago, and we haven't spoken since.
Really?
But that was the finality of our relationship.
That was the finale right there?
I went down the stairs, I heard the door shut, I heard her lock it, and that was it.
Wow. Sounds like you guys have some unfinished business.
No, not whatsoever. I mean,
on either part, you don't think?
No, I would love to.
How do you end something like that?
Well, as I said, like, I would love to talk to her and see her, and you know what I mean? Like, she was a part of my soul for that, but it's like, dude, I can't be around that girl without wanting to, like, make fucking love with her for hours. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't be with her, but Jesus, I mean, we had obvious, crazy chemistry and all that stuff, but there's just no, it's like, it's just not a practical idea for us to be like, what are we gonna? We're either gonna have small talk and be, you know, this sucks, or it's gonna be like, we're gonna have sex and then it's gonna be a whole
open Pandora's box again.
Yeah. So it's like, and I'd take her lead. It's like I totally appreciate the fact that she doesn't
acknowledge you.
Won't return my email from 6 months ago, or does, you know what I mean?
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
No, it's funny.
Okay, I get it.
It's funny, and what you were talking about before with your, you know, ex is like, there's no middle ground. You can't.
Not on my part. That's his thing, so I have to respect that.
And to interrupt, you say not on your part, but you know damn well on his end, he's trying to get back in there. So
right, which isn't fair.
So it's like by virtue of you opening that door to him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What does that mean?
Both ways. Like people, I'm always like, oh, I didn't. It's all her. She's the one that's cray. But it's like, no, you have to remove yourself from the situation.
Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying. I hear that. It's just, you know, easier said than done, I think, a lot of times, because when you don't have as much emotionally invested in the aftermath or the post breakup, and you've already checked out, you know, mentally and emotionally, it's just, it sucks, you know, because like you said, especially for me, it was a marriage, so yes, it was my shortest long-term relationship, but it was so significant, funny. You know. No, I'm just saying, you know, it's just, relationships are funny, you know, there's no rhyme or reason. Love is a crazy mixed up thing, and whatever
Whoa. Now Aerin O'Connell on love. Aerin, what do you think about love? Love is a crazy mixed up thing. Scene.
No, I actually, you know what?
That was actually the monologue she did for the Actors Studio. And there's like, have you ever done it? Like,
no.
You're on a bright stage. I did it with Stephanie Rival, and I did it with Siobhan, my other friend. I did it twice. And
now you're gonna do it again?
Nicholson did it.
Oh, honey, I would be accepted.
No, but what I want to do, because you walk in there, it's the lights, like it's like all you can see is like a couple sets of feet in the audience, like, and it's like fucking Martin Landau or somebody's out there, and they're like
Bradley Cooper.
Like all of a sudden you hear like, okay, go ahead, and you start your scene, and then they're like, you're in the middle of your scene, and they're like, okay, thank you, that's enough. And then you just like put your head down and leave. So, but I think what would be hysterical
if I just gave them like 3 lines.
If you and me came and did a horrible scene, like we literally have like a 5-second bit, and then we just walk off the stage.
I'm
and
game.
Scene.
Right, yeah, I'm into that. Right. Well, and I think that's like actually something that
hysterical.
Has been a common theme for both of us. You know, sort of
failure
going against the grain and not caring what everyone else thinks and not caring about.
True.
You know, establishment or the industry, but that was kind of the beauty of how we worked well together initially, was that we both felt that way, but at the same time we were like, but if we're gonna do this, like, I'd rather do it with you because you feel the same way about it that I do.
But then it ended up with like fucking 50 hate emails. Not hate emails, but remember all the emails with you, me, and Ibsen? It was just like,
I would say they're hate emails. That's what happens when you work with someone. It's very frustrating, and you kind of have to take off that hat and say, you know, all right, we're in the ring, and no rabbit punches, but at the same time, like,
rabbit kicks.
Well, that's why I think it's so important when you surround yourself with these people, you know, and you're working with them. Maybe it is best that, you know, we never went down that road and explored
about sleeping together,
romantic relationship or an involvement or whatever.
That's all your fault. Like you had your chance at Barney's.
It's always my fault. Yeah, I had my chance. No, I was ditched. No, I think I went home with someone after that.
You bitch. And you had fucking Johnny Hotcakes sitting right there.
You weren't there when I came back from the restroom. You had vanished.
Well, were you thinking? Was it in your thought brain?
I don't know. Was it? I guess you'll never know. Will you? Because you didn't stick around.
That's really funny.
And I still remember the audition you had the next day. It was for a car commercial. And you were telling me about it, and you thought it went really well. And I just remember I loved the way you like told a story and like your attention to detail and the way you...
Do you remember what it was for?
It was for a car. It was like this car commercial, and you told me how you had to pretend how you were in this family and you were the one driving, and, you know, I still remember where I was sitting, and I was in this studio apartment in West Hollywood. I remember exactly where I was when you called. I remember all of it.
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to think of, I remember, that's funny.
I remember what I wore.
I remember meeting you at Barney's, and I was very taken by you.
Why? I was probably going,
like,
I was going through probably the most vicious turmoil, you know, at the time for me, you know, coming out here and going through that breakup with that guy that, you know, we'd moved out here for each other.
Give us a sip. Yeah.
Which is interesting.
He was like a banker guy, like a real world guy.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
But the
he is. I'm sure he still is.
You know what I remember about you from then when I think about it? What like appealed to me is like you were like the you I know now, like intimately, you know, deep. Like I know you deeply, and then you know we have a I don't know what the words are, but I know you for 7 fucking years. Like we're close.
Right.
But I knew you on that level. I feel like
that night
as soon as I met you. And it's funny because I haven't seen you in 2 years, and the second you walked in, I felt like I could have saw you yesterday. Yeah. And I think that's, I've always had that, we've always had that connection. And you were funny and cute, and like, you just didn't give a shit. And
I think what you found to be interesting
was your tits. Wait, how do you think they would have described you, is my question.
Well, not someone like Monique, because she knew me on the same level, but maybe, you know, just... I think a lot of people don't really know who I am. You know, they might. What's it called when
Shannon
you give like a jump start, sort of like
people get a vibe of you based on
where is she from, and you know where does she live, where does she drive, you know, like all that crap. You know, it's just like.
You're talking about like the things, the stuff part of it, or
right, like and not being able to see past certain things like that, and to see the person for who they really are. It was never an issue. That was,
and I love that about you, that I didn't know that until like I knew you for 3 months, and Monique was like, oh yeah, Aaron's like whatever. I was like, huh? I didn't know, you know what I mean? And
that's when you wanted to sleep with me.
No, and of course no, I wanted, you know, once you didn't go for the Barney's toilet sex, I was done with the whole fucking idea. I was like, well, I'll just be friends.
You didn't even try. Who knows? I was pretty plastered that night. Could have gotten some Barney's restroom.
Drink up, Johnny.
Strange ass action.
No, I like divorcees.
Back then, I was no divorcee. That's the new me.
No, there was, like I did
shopping
like,
that title around.
In the beginning I was like, I kind of like that Aerin girl, and then
I was interested. I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely interested. I think we were talking like almost every day.
Yeah, and then at one point we were probably with Monique, and you started talking about some other guy you were interested in, and I was just like, you didn't think of me like that at all, and were able to say something.
Well,
like
I was just being myself, because it was never brought to my attention that there was this sort of potential or possibility.
But it wasn't like a hetero, you know.
I mean, I can't tell you. No.
But I'm saying for me, that shifted to like.
For you.
We're best pals, like in that moment. I was like, well, all right. Well,
although, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I can remember us hanging out. Like I said, it became this like almost weekly thing where it was like this platonic but intense, you know.
Yeah, we were rapping.
Bond. And one night, I don't know what happened, but like you were there, and this other guy wanted to come over, and I was like, well, I want to see what you think, and I wanted to see like what you thought of him, and I'm sure in the back of my mind I was like, and now I'm really gonna know what's going on here, and it just never presented itself.
No.
Which I think it's better that way too, because
we wouldn't
then
be sitting here right now.
Probably not.
Absolutely not. Like, dude, we would have killed each other.
Yeah.
We'd have been a fucking horrible couple.
I don't know though. I mean, how do you know that? I mean, how do you know that?
It was just a moment in the movie where like fucking, it's like, Jack, come back.
No, honestly, how do you know that? What makes you say that?
Well, because you are
all about me?
No.
And you're all about me?
You're reactionary and hyper emotional, and like
I need to be with someone who's
all over the fucking place. And
dramatic.
you need a guy that's like
chill.
Like, Aerin, settle down. We're gonna fucking go like get something to eat and chill out.
I'm gonna let you cool off for a little bit.
I am out of my fucking brain.
I need Keanu Reeves.
I'm like this. We're the same person. There's nobody to like moderate. We actually need to have a therapist travel around the world with us and like be like, Bo, think about what you just said to Aerin.
We need a mediator just to like get through a conversation.
Do you want to do a take back? Aerin, now Bo just he insulted you, which he apologized for, but he also complimented you. Like,
and yeah, we probably don't even hear half of it.
Completely hyperbolic. But then I remember, okay, a point I remember is one of our, you know, and like it was you, me, and Nina were there, and some dude that she was like hanging out with showed up. Some dude with like fucking real grown-up guy pants and belt and like a shirt that was tucked in and buttons and a whole grown-up guy.
Justin, her now husband?
No, totally different dude.
Okay.
But he drove like a, you know, he was just a grown-up guy that like a, you know, a normal girl goes and fucks. Like a good-looking, he was cool. I liked him. But
that's what I want to be like one day.
So him and Nina, you'll remember this night. Him and Nina were like kissing and blah blah blah, and then they were doing like a thing where they would. Back and forth.
Yes, I remember it was the cherries or something.
Yeah, it was cherries. And then you're like,
weird.
oh, I'm gonna do it.
No, I wouldn't.
And then you did it. You did it with him.
No, I did it with her.
No, and then you did it with him.
No,
I remember I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm a guy. I'm like, dude, I get a lot of ass.
No,
like, I'm good with the chicks.
Wow, I forgot.
You totally did it with a guy.
Okay,
and I remember when you did it with the guy.
Micah, right? It was like. I didn't have any respect for him. I didn't care.
It was at your house at your condo. Right. But I remember you saying like.
Was it Ben or?
No, you did it with.
Was it? I think it was Ben.
Don't interrupt me, honey.
Sorry.
You did it with Nina, and then you did it with a dude.
But I wouldn't do it with you because I respected you.
You literally said like, after doing it with Nina and the dude, you go, "Bo, I'll just do this with anybody but Bo." And I was like. How did I get here? I'm like the guy that gets the laid and the beer and the fucking
ladies love me. Ladies love me.
I know, and I was like, but no, at that point, I realized like you and I become such good friends, and at that point, I felt the same way. I was like, dude, if I remember thinking about it, I was like, dude, I couldn't even imagine like kissing you. Like it would just be like we'd laugh through the whole thing, and somebody would like pee the bed or something. You know what I mean? And our relationship had because we had gotten to be such.
And it might not be me or you.
We had gotten to be such good friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe there's a certain point where like you know too much, but at the same time, like, aren't you supposed to feel like you can be that? Like you can just be yourself to the point where you are laughing about everything, and you know it doesn't.
It's what Ibsen told me, which was the greatest advice ever. He was like, dude, you want to be with like your best friend. You know, and I'm surrounded by women that are my best friend. Like, and it's like Katerina, who's very much in this documentary. It's like she's my best friend, and like, I you know, I'm attracted to her. She's attractive, she's a sweetheart. But it's like, I don't go there because there's too much at stake. You know what I mean? Like, what would happen if?
Well, no. I think that
I couldn't lose her as my friend.
That presents an issue of like, I got to put on the brakes and I got to go slow, or I need to know what I'm doing instead of just like acting on impulse, like. Doing things without thinking, which is usually the way that I conduct myself in a relationship, hasn't really worked for me thus far.
Hey, by the way,
you saw my train record there.
You're talking to a couple of experts here.
Right. So no, but it's true. It's like, okay, well, I did that. Look how that worked out. Like, so you got to kind of, you know, look at it differently and force yourself to be like, all right, how do I get all of those things from this without fucking it up? Like,
and unfortunately, and I think you're the same as I am, and it's like you kind of want this fairy tale and this, like, I've always been like, I want to be head over heels and love and blah blah blah. And
no,
it's like,
I will be.
But I was saying that to somebody, but maybe down the road I was saying that to somebody, and I was like, you know, I was asking her about, she was like, why aren't you with that girl? Probably some Katerina or whoever, and it was just like, I don't know, it's just like I feel we're friends and blah blah blah, and she was like, no, that's what
it
like the head over
start like
you're
that.
36 years old, dude. The over the moon thing is not probably gonna work, and if it does, it might work for a while, but it's like you need to get real. You need to find compatibility, and out of that will grow like life and love and like over the moon. But you have to be
have to be willing to accept that. Like, I mean, I even found myself saying to someone the other day, I was like, you know, I want this, and I want to contribute to your happiness, but you have to let me. You know, like you have to be willing to let that happen and to be open to it. Because if you're not, it's not gonna happen. Like,
yeah, no, it's you gotta be teammates.
And I think what happens a lot with you is like one or a few things will happen, and you're like, that's it. You cancel it out, like you're done. You check out, and it's like these string of. I mean, I remember when I first met you, it was like this girl, that girl, this girl, that girl. And I was with her, and then I was with her, and then I was with her, and then I was with her. It just seems like it was like this revolving door. you know.
No, and that's and what I realized what that was is the stench of responsibility.
Well, you know, relationships are effort.
No, I know, and I agree.
It's effort.
And it's a matter. It's like a snot-nosed little brat answer, but I think that's been the truth, and that's what I'm now trying to like combat and be like.
We're working on it.
You know what? Like I care about this person. I'm gonna try. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let her tell me I'm a fucking dipshit. You know what I mean? Because she probably...
You know what? Maybe I am.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas before,
you know,
it's like,
she's probably
you're not fucking yelling at me. Like, there's 6 of you fucking at the next bar.
Hey, yeah. And I hear you.
But what a horrible, like, that's a horrible way to live life, you know?
Well, because it's so ego-driven, and you can't...
Well, no, it's spoiled brat living. It's like, I don't want to...
You know what I heard for the first time ever?
You're the...
No, he put me in my place.
Funny thing to say.
He put me in my place, and it pissed me off.
Who?
In the moment. We're not going there.
Whoever.
I heard this, and I was like, "Whoa! He did not just say that. He did not just say that to me." And I was mad. And in looking back on it since then, I'm like, dude, he's got my number. This guy gets me. He understands me, and he's not afraid to say it. And he told me that I was the girl who's never heard no before.
You kind of are, and if you hear no, you don't like it, and you get fucking sassy.
Like it, and it's also a product of, you know, lack of patience, and you know, I want it my way or the highway, and like, what do I do if I don't get what I want? And like, I mean, this.
You don't hear no often.
I never hear no, so when I do, it like.
That's so fucking bizarre, man. Because I'm always talking about people that like. It's like, dude. You know, usually it's equated with celebrities or whoever. It's like, dude, when's the last time Justin Timberlake heard the word no? It just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? I'm not comparing you to JT.
I was like, oh my god, I'm in the same category as Sexy Back.
But you have that sort of, you know, lineage, whatever you want to call it.
I think it also, it stems from, obviously, how I grew up and, you know, those circumstances, but I think it's also because I've been pretty hell-bent on making things happen that I've wanted. So that sort of drive and ambition, like, well, I'm gonna get what I want. Like, you know, you don't tell me no. If I really want something, not even so much in a relationship, just in general, but to hear that from somebody else's mouth, because I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
When I hear that sort of a thing from someone, and I'm like, shit, you're right. Like, I'm not gonna discount someone for that. If anything, I'm like, now I'm even into you even more, because like. You're picking up on what's really going on here.
He's paying attention to you, and he knows. Totally.
So that's interesting.
Whenever you meet somebody that's actually fucking listening, it's like, it's the world. You know what I mean? It's like you're actually listening to what I'm saying.
Right.
And you know, or when you meet somebody that you actually want to listen to. Which is usually, you know what I mean?
And you remember like everything, and it's like effortless. Like that's just so breathtaking.
Yeah. Fucking A.